The first day at Jefferson High always felt like a parade of whispers, stares, and silent judgments. Students shuffled from class to class, forming groups, cliques, and invisible walls that divided the popular from the ordinary. That morning, the quiet buzz of chatter stopped the moment Aaliyah Johnson walked through the school's main entrance. She was tall, graceful, and striking, with smooth dark skin, long braids flowing over her shoulders, and eyes that didn't flinch under the curious stares. She had just moved from Atlanta with her mother after her father's sudden passing, and now she was the new girl. The label no one wanted, the target everyone tested. Aaliyah wore a simple denim jacket, black jeans, and sneakers, but her confidence radiated. She didn't slouch. She didn't hide. She carried herself like someone who belonged, even though she knew no one in the building. The whispers started immediately. "Who's she?" one boy muttered. "Another transfer. She looks different. New girl thinks she's something." And then came the looks, the ones Aaliyah knew too well. Looks that said she didn't fit in. Looks that said her skin color, her hair, and even her accent were reasons enough for mockery. She took a deep breath. Here we go again. By lunchtime, the self-proclaimed rulers of Jefferson High had already noticed her. At the center of the cafeteria, four girls sat like queens on their throne: Jessica, blonde and sharp-tongued; Amber, the loud one; Claire, the follower who laughed at everything; and Madison, the leader who thrived on cruelty. They were the kind of girls who decided who was in and who was out. And Aaliyah. She didn't even exist on their scale, yet. Jessica leaned forward, smirking. She thinks she can just walk in here like she owns the place. Amber snorted. Look at that hair. Probably takes her 3 hours just to untangle it. Claire giggled on cue. Madison tilted her head, eyes narrowing. Don't worry, girls. We'll make sure she learns her place. As Aaliyah carried her tray through the cafeteria, searching for a seat, Madison stuck out her foot. The entire room gasped as Aaliyah stumbled, her tray crashing to the floor, food splattering everywhere. A chorus of laughter erupted, and Madison covered her mouth, pretending to look innocent. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," Madison said in a syrupy tone. "Didn't see you there." The laughter grew louder. Some students shook their heads, but no one spoke up. Aaliyah froze. She could feel the heat of humiliation on her face, the stares drilling into her. For a split second, the bullies thought they had broken her. But then Aaliyah slowly bent down, picked up her tray, and stood tall again. She looked Madison directly in the eyes, her voice calm but firm. "You're going to regret that." The cafeteria went silent. No one had ever talked back to Madison like that. Word spread quickly. By the end of the day, the entire school knew the new girl had stood up to Madison. Some admired her. Some pitied her. Most thought she was insane. Madison's crew, however, was seething. In the locker room after cheer practice, Jessica hissed, "She embarrassed you in front of everyone." Amber added, "We can't let her think she's tough." Claire, as always, echoed, "Yeah, we have to do something." Madison smirked. "Don't worry. Tomorrow, she'll wish she never walked into Jefferson High." What none of them knew was that Aaliyah had faced worse. She had survived harsher environments, tougher neighborhoods, and crueler people. She wasn't afraid of four girls who thought popularity was power. That night, as she unpacked in her small bedroom, her mother walked in. "Rough first day?" her mom asked gently. Aaliyah hesitated, then shrugged. "Nothing I can't handle." Her mom studied her daughter's face, saw the flicker of pain, and gave a soft smile. "Your father used to say, 'The strongest storms make the toughest roots.' Remember that." Aaliyah nodded, holding on to those words like armor. The next day, Aaliyah entered the schoolyard to find Madison and her crew waiting. "Hey, new girl!" Amber shouted, drawing everyone's attention. "Got a second?" Jessica sneered. Aaliyah kept walking, but they blocked her path. Students gathered, hungry for drama. "What do you want?" Aaliyah asked, unshaken. Madison smirked. "We just want to welcome you properly." And then, in one swift move, Amber snatched Aaliyah's backpack and dumped it on the ground. Books, notebooks, and her late father's photo spilled across the pavement. A hush fell. Aaliyah's heart dropped at the sight of the picture, the only photo she carried of her dad. Madison picked it up, twirling it between her fingers. "Ah, is this Daddy?" she mocked. "Looks like he ran off, huh?" The crowd laughed. Something inside Aaliyah snapped. She stepped forward, her voice sharp. "Put it down." Madison raised a brow. "Or what?" And that's when it happened. Madison smirked and started to rip the picture in half. But before she could, Aaliyah's hand shot out like lightning. With reflexes none of them expected, she snatched the photo back and shoved Madison's hand aside with surprising force. The crowd gasped. Jessica tried to step in, but Aaliyah turned, her eyes blazing. "Touch me, and you'll regret it." Amber laughed nervously. "What are you gonna do, new girl?" "Fight all of us." The laughter faded when Aaliyah took a step closer, her voice cold and steady. "You think you're strong because you've got an audience. But you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. 1 minute from now, you'll wish you never laid eyes on me." Something in her tone, that raw, unshaken confidence, made even the loudest hecklers go quiet. And then Aaliyah smiled. "Go ahead. Try me." The bullies froze. They weren't used to this. Victims usually cried or begged. Not this girl. The crowd began to murmur. Some students whispered, "She's fearless." Others smirked, waiting for a fight. Madison, caught off guard, suddenly realized the tables had turned. In the tense silence, Aaliyah bent down, calmly gathering her belongings. The picture of her father remained safe in her hand. She looked up at Madison, her voice steady. "You don't scare me." And deep down, "You know you're nothing without your little gang and their laughter. That's your real weakness." The words cut deeper than a slap. Students shifted uncomfortably. Some even nodded. Madison opened her mouth to fire back, but the crowd wasn't laughing anymore. They were watching her, judging her. Amber whispered nervously, "Madison, maybe let's just drop it." Jessica muttered, "She's making us look stupid." Madison's face burned red. For the first time, she felt powerless. And then, to everyone's shock, Aaliyah walked away. Not defeated, not broken, but victorious. The crowd parted for her, whispering in awe. The next day, the bullies avoided her. But the silence in the hallways grew heavier. By lunch, something unexpected happened. Madison and her crew walked up to Aaliyah's table. She looked up calmly. "What now?" Madison's eyes flickered with embarrassment. For the first time, her voice wasn't dripping with venom. We're sorry." The cafeteria fell silent. No one had ever heard Madison apologize to anyone. Jessica added quickly, "Yeah, we didn't mean to." Amber mumbled, "We went too far." Aaliyah studied them, unmoved. Why the sudden change? Madison swallowed hard. "Because You were right. We act tough, but we're just scared of losing control. And yesterday, you showed us what real strength looks like." Gasps rippled through the room. Aaliyah leaned back, her voice cool. "I don't need your friendship. But you'll never disrespect me again." Madison nodded, shame burning her cheeks. And just like that, the queens of Jefferson High were dethroned. Weeks passed, and Aaliyah became more than just the new girl. She earned respect, not because she fought back with fists, but because she fought back with courage. She joined the debate team, helped tutor younger students, and even started an art project in honor of her father. Her presence transformed the school. The bullies, once feared, now faded into the background. Madison, to her credit, kept her word and never bothered Aaliyah again. One afternoon, a freshman girl shyly approached Aaliyah. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" Aaliyah asked. "For proving we don't have to let them control us." Aaliyah smiled softly. "Never let anyone decide your worth. Not here, not anywhere." In the end, it wasn't a fight that silenced the bullies. It wasn't violence or revenge. It was 1 minute of courage. 1 minute where Aaliyah stood tall, refused to be broken, and showed everyone that true strength comes from within. And that minute changed everything.